If nothing else, the Great Recession laid bare the necessity of sound risk assessment practices. Not just economic risk, but also political risk. And it doesn't stop there. As the world continues to flatten, it is becoming increasingly difficult to disentangle the compound of political, regulatory, security, and economic risks, among others, and their impact on business and foreign markets. So can we actually make sense of the mayhem? One thing is sure. These distinct risks exist in name alone, much the way pure samples of chemical elements rarely exist naturally in isolation. Moreover, what matters to business is finding a way to measure the cost to commercial activity imposed by consolidated country risk. Because as compounds go, country risk is inherently volatile, requiring a rebalancing anytime the properties of one element change. Recognizing the need to account for these multiple interrelated elements, EDC's Economic and Political Intelligence Center, a branch of EDC Economics, maintains a set of interdisciplinary ratings for nearly 200 markets aimed at clarifying what is otherwise a very confusing picture. Key insights on risk rating drivers and payment experience in both the commercial and in the public sectors are highlighted in a new electronic publication that we call the Country Risk Quarterly. So what have we noticed recently? Well, the post-crisis period has highlighted a to-do list of key structural adjustments that is bound to grow as the world is weaned off the extraordinary stimulus that boosted asset prices and contained borrowing costs. One of these is filling the enormous global infrastructure deficit, which unaddressed could rise to some $50 trillion by 2030. In many markets, investment in social infrastructure will be absolutely key to narrowing vast societal schisms. A focus on human capital is essential to enhancing productivity and dealing with a root cause of political disenfranchisement, to say nothing of the associated impact on the business environment. Given recent events, ratings on this count have performed reasonably well, with an almost equal number of upgrades and downgrades of our political violence ratings. It is no surprise, however, that the MENA region stood out as the one exception in this regard. Meanwhile, many countries continue to benefit from a buildup of foreign exchange reserves over the last number of years. With notable exceptions, this will help emerging markets in particular better withstand the coming correction in commodity prices than in previous cycles. In fact, we saw more than 3 times as many upgrades than downgrades of our transfer and conversion ratings, providing a substantial boost to our country commercial rating ceilings. What's more, as prices began showing signs of softening, we saw a leveling off of expropriation rating downgrades across most regions, a reversal of the opportunistic moves of many governments in the heady days. Authorities are increasingly recognizing the need for a more collaborative approach to private sector activities. Massive post-crisis liquidity injections have helped many sovereigns manage debt servicing, either by boosting commodity-based revenues or by lowering the cost of funds. U.S. tapering of QE has tested markets but hasn't completely wiped out appetite for sovereign bond issuances. Upgrades of sovereign probabilities of default have outnumbered downgrades by a factor of more than 2 to 1. However, longer-term sustainability still depends on existing debt burdens. Governments that failed to improve debt profiles or make productivity-enhancing investments could find themselves exposed to market volatility and may suffer rollover pressures. The bottom line? Technology has made the logistics of international business as easy as sending something down the street. But what if knowledge could give you that same peace of mind when it comes to the risks? While a globalized world means greater opportunity, it also increases the complexity of the cost calculations. Taking an integrated approach to country risk and its impact on costs is increasingly vital to developing business prospects, exceeding customer expectations, and ultimately to ensuring financial sustainability.